Gases worksheet, Chap 10. 1. Convert the following units. Millimeter Hg to atom equals millimeter Hg times 1 atom over 760 millimeters equals ANS in atom. To to millimeter Hg equals To times 760 millimeters Hg over 760 To equals ANS Hg. Atom to psi equals atom times 100 and 1325 par over 1 atom equals ANS psi. Psi to pound over inch to the square root equals psi times 14.7 pound over in square root over 101.325 K equals ANS pound over inch to the square root. Pound over inch to the square root to millimeter Hg equals pound over into square root times 760 millimeters Hg over 14.7 pound over into the square root equals ANS Hg. 2. How high would column be in meter PHG equals PBR, so DHG times HHG times G equals DBR times HBR times G. So HBR equals DHG times HHG times G over DBR times G equals DHG times HHG over DBR. So take put in the amount in density in Hg, put amount of height in HHG and divided by the other density times 1 m over 1000 millimeters equals ANSM. 3. At what temperature, in C, so N equals your G times 1 mol of element over atomic weight of element equals mol of element. P equals your millimeter Hg times 1 atom over 760 millimeters Hg equals ANS atom. V equals your ml times 1L over 1000 milliliters equals ANSL. PV equals nRT, so T equals PV over nR. So T equals ANS of atom times answer of L over ANS of mol of element times 0.08206 L atom over mol K equals ANS K minus 273.115 equals ANSC. 4. What pressure will be exerted? N equals G of element times 1 mol of element over molar weight of element equals ANS mol of element. T equals number in G plus 273.15 equals ANSK. V equals your ml times 1L over 1000 milliliters equals ANSL. PV equals nRT, so P equals nRT over V. So P equals ANS mol of element times 0.08206 L atom over mol K times ANS K over ANS L equals ANS atom. 5. Find the number of grams P equals millimeter Hg time 1 atom over 760 millimeters Hg equals ANS atom. T equals number in C plus 273.15 equals ANSK. PV equals nRT, so N equals RT over PV. So N equals ANS atom times your liter over 0.08206 L atom over mol K times ANSK equals ANS mol of element times molar mass of element over 1 mol of element equals ANSG of element. 6. What is the volume, in L, if the pressure is kept constant? 2. Condition V1 equals given ml. T1 equals given C plus 273.15 equals ANSK, T2 equals given K, and V2 equals unknown. So P and N are constant. We use this formula 1 PV1 over N1 T1 equals 2 PV2 over N2 T2, but T and N constant, so V1 over T1 equals V2 over T2. T decreases, so expect V to decrease ans have to rearrange to solve for V2. So V2 equals given ml times given K divided by T1 that we found equals ans ml times 1L over 1000 milliliters equals ansL. 7. Given L of C and millimeter Hg, what is the volume? L1P equals given millimeter Hg times 1 atom over 760 millimeters Hg equals ans atom. V1 equals given L, T1 equals given C plus 273.15 equals ANSK, 2P equals given millimeter Hg times 1 atom over 760 millimeters Hg equals ANS second atom, V2 equals unknown, T2 equals second C plus 273.15 equals second answer K, and N is constant. So 1PV1 over N1T1 equals 2PV2 over N2T2, but N constant. So it be 1PV1 over T1 equals 2PV2 over T2. T decreases, which makes V decrease, but P decreases, which makes V increase. So we rearrange to solve for V2. The new formula is V2 equals 1PV2T2 over 2PT1. So V2 equals first atom ANS times given L times second K over second atom ANS times first K ANS equals ANSL. 8. Given gas atom, liter, and pressure atom, what is the volume of the first flask? So we are given 1P equals given atom, V1 equals unknown, 2P equals given atom, and V2 equals given L. So we use this formula 1P V2 over N1T1 equals 2P V2 over N2T2, but T and N are constant, so the formula will be 1P V1 equals 2P V2. Though P is decreased, so V will increase, so the initial volume should be smaller, so we rearrange to solve for V1 by having the V1 equals 2P V2 over 1P. So given 2P time given L over given 1P equals ANSL. 9. Given ml of 8 at feet with a pressure atom and temp of C. What volume will the same amount of air at the pressure of atom and 8 temp of C? Two conditions, so 1P equals given first atom, 2P equals second atom given, V1 equals first ml, V2 equals unknown, T1 equals first C plus 273.15 equals ANSK, and T2 equals second C plus 273.15 equals second ANSK, and N is constant. We use formula 1PV1 over N1T1 equals 2PV2 over N2T2. But N constant, so 1PV1 over T1 equals 2PV2 over T2, and T is increases, which makes V increase, and P decreases, which makes V increase, so V must increase. 9. We need to rearrange to solve for V2. So V2 equals 1PV1 T2 over 2P T1, so we plug in everything equals ANSML. 10. What is the pressure of the cooled gas? We are given 1P equals first atom, 2P equals unknown, V1 equals given ml, V2 equals second ml, T1 equals first C plus 273.15 equals ANSK, T2 equals second C plus 273.15 equals second ANSK, and N is constant. We use formula 1PV1 over N1T1 equals 2PV2 over N2T2, but N constant, so it be 1PV1 over T1 equals 2PV2 over T2. So T is decreases, which makes V decrease, and since V is decreased and N is constant, P must increase, meaning we need to rearrange to solve for 2P. Now 2P equals 1P V1 T2 over V2 T1, so we will plug everything in equals ANS atom. 11. What will the volume be if the pressure is increased? So we are given 1P equals first atom, V1 equals given L, 2P equals second atom, and V2 equals unknown. T and N are constant, that means we use this equation 1P V1 over N1 T1 equals 2P V2 over N2 T2. But T and N is constant, so 1P V1 equals 2P V2. Though P is increased, so V decreased, so final volume should be smaller, meaning we need to rearrange to solve V2. Now formula B V2 equals 1P V2 over 1P, so we plug in everything equals ANSL. 12. What is the new volume of the balloon? So we are given V1 equals first L, V2 equals unknown, T1 equals first C plus 273.15 equals ANSK, and T2 equals second C plus 273.15 equals second ANSK. P and N are constant, so we use 1P V1 over N1 T2 equals 2P V2 over N2 T2. But T and N constant, so it be V1 over T1 equals V2 over T2. So T is increased, so expect to increase, meaning we need to rearrange to solve V2. Now our new formula is V2 equals V1 T2 over T1. Now plug everything in equals ANSL. 13. What volume will the gas occupy? We are given 1P equals first atom, V1 equals first ml, V2 equals unknown, T1 equals C plus 273.15 equals ANSK, and T2 equals second C plus 273.15 equals second ANSK. N is constant, so we need to convert 2P by doing 2P equals given To times 1 atom over 760 To equals ANS atom. Now we use 1P V2 over N1 T1 equals 2P V2 over N2 T2. But N constant, so we now put it as 1P V2 over T1 equals 2P V2 over T2. Though T increase, which makes V increase, and P decreases, which makes V increase, so V must increase, meaning we need to rearrange to solve for V2. So V2 equals 1P V1 T2 over 2P T1 and plus everything in equals ANSML. 14. Will the canister explode? We are given mole of gas, V equals given L, T equals given C, so we use this formula PV equals nRT to solve for P. If P is less than given atom, it will explode. Conversion will be T equals C plus 273.15 equals ANSK, and now we need PB alone in PV equals nRT, so the formula will be P equals nRT over V. P equals given moles times 0.08206 L atom over mole K times found K over given L equals ANS atom. 15. Calculate the number of grams. We are given P equals given millimeter Hg, V equals given L, T equals given C, and uses the formula PV equals nRT to solve for N aka moles. Convert P equals given millimeter Hg times 1 atom over 760 millimeters Hg equals ANS atom. T equals C plus 273.25 equals ANSK. Now PV equals nRT, so we make it N equals RT over PV, so N equals plug in everything equals ANS mole of element times atomic weight of element over 1 mole of element equals ANSG of element.
Okay.
16. Calculate the density of steam in G over ml. T equals C plus 273.15 equals ANSK, and use the formula D or G over L equals PM mass over RT. So plug in given atom times 18.02 G over mol all over 0.08206 L atom over mol K times found K and times it by 1 L over 1000 milliliters equals ANSG over ml. 17. Calculate the density. You are given grams, temperature, and atoms, so you use the formula PV equals nRT to determine V by calculating D equals M over V. So N equals given G of compound times 1 mol of compound over molar mass of compound equals ANS moles of compound. Now T equals given C plus 273.15 equals ANSK. We can begin using PV equals nRT, so we have it as V equals nRT over P. Now V equals the plug-in letter equals ANSL. We can solve for D, so it be D equals given G over ANS for V in L equals ANSG over L. 18. What is the molar mass of the unknown gas? So the M mass equals formula mRT over PV, so we plug in given G for M times 0.08206 L atom over mol K in for R, and time given K in for T over given atom for P times given mL in for V times 1 L over 1000 milliliters equals ANSG over mol. 19. Calculate the molar mass of a gas, so we have P equals given millimeter Hg times 1 atom over 760 millimeters Hg equals ANS atom. Now T equals given C plus 273.15 equals ANSK, so we use formula M mass equals mRT over PV, which equals dRT over P. Now given density will be plug in for D times 0.08206 L atom over mol K, we plug in for R times found K in for T over found atom equals ANSG over mol. 20. Find the molar volume, so we have T equals given C plus 273.15 equals ANSK, and we use formula PV equals nRT, so V over N equals RT over P. Plug in 0.08206 L atom over mol K in for R time found K in for T over given atom in for P equals ANSL over mol. 21. How many liters? You give chemical formula or make a chemical formula from the given compound in question and balance it. Now given G of compound times 1 mol of compound over molar mass of compound times 1 mol of the second element in compound over amount in compound times 22.41 L of second element in compound over mol of second element in compound equals ANSL. 22. What volume will be produced at standard temperature and pressure when the reaction is triggered? Now have the given G of compound times 1 mol of compound over molar mass of compound time amount in second element in compound over amount in compound time 22.41 second element in compound over mol. Second element in compound equals ANSL of second element in compound. 23. What volume will be produced? We need to calculate new molar volume at given P and T and then use as above. So Pn equals given millimeter Hg times 1 atom over 760 millimeters Hg equals ANS atom, and T equals given C plus 273.15 equals ANSK. Now V over N equals RT over P, and plug everything into the equation, so 0.08206 L atom over mol K in 4R times found K in 4T all over found atom in 4P equals ANS L over mol. 24. What volume will be produced? We need to balance equation for the compound in question and need to find L of compound in question. So we take given L times amount in compound over amount times second element in product side equals ANS L of compound, which equals limiting reactant that equals amount produced. Now take L of first element in compound times amount times it in reaction over amount in product for element equals ANS L of compound. 25. What is the percent yield? First balance the equation for the given element and compound and the oxygen starting moles via PV equals nRT, then to gram of for the question. So P equals given millimeter Hg time 1 atom over 760 millimeters Hg equals ANS atom, and T equals given C plus 273.15 equals ANSK. We can solve for N now. We put N equals P times V over RT equation. Plug in found atom in 4P, given L for V. 0.08206 L atom over mol K in 4R, and found K in 4T equals ANS mol of second element in compound times amount in reaction over 1 mol of second element times molar mass of reaction compound over 1 mol of reaction compound equals ANSG of reaction compound. Then we could find percent yield equals actual yield over theoretical yield times 100 equals G collected of reaction compound over found G from before times 100 equals ANS percent. 26. What is the percent yield? First we make a balance equation and have moles of reaction compound equals given mol of product times amount in reaction mol of reaction over amount in product mol of product equals ANS mol of reaction. We use formula 1 PV1 over N1T1 equals 2 PV2 over N2T2. But P and T constant, so V1 over N1 equals V2 over N2, aka Avogadro's law. So V2 equals V1 N2 over N1. Now it equals given L in 4 V1 times found mol in 4 N2 over given equals ANS L of reaction. 27. What will the total pressure of the resulting mixture be? Now P total equals parenthesis first mole plus second mole parenthesis times 0.08206 L atom over mol K times parenthesis C plus 273.15 parenthesis all over given L equals ANS atom. B. What is the mole fraction of each gas? So X of first element in question equals N of first element in question over N total equals amount of mole in first element over 8.00 equals ANS. Then do X for second element equals N of second element over N total equals amount of mole in second element over 8 equals ANS. C. What is the partial pressure of each gas? So P of first element equals X of first element times P total equals X of first element ANS times found atom equals ANS atom. do P second element equals X second element times P total, so do what you did for PO2 but plug in the ANS for X second element ANS times found P total equals ANS atom. 28. What is the partial pressure of each gas at C, and what is the total pressure in the cylinder at this temperature? So we find mol of first element equals grams of first element times 1 mol of first element over molar mass of first element equals ANS mol. Then we find the mol of second element equals grams of second element times 1 mol of second element over molar mass of second element equals ANS mol for that element. Now we solve P total. We have P total equals parenthesis mol of first element plus mol of second element parenthesis times 0.08206 L atom over mol K times parenthesis C plus 273.15 parenthesis all over liter given equals ANS atom. Now we solve P of first element, which equals X of first element times P total, which equals N of that first element over N total times P total, so we plug in mol first element in for N over mol of first element plus mol second element in for N total times solved P total equals ANS atom. We solve P second element equals X of second element times P total equals N of second element over N total, so we plug in mol second element in for N over mol of first element plus mol of second element in for N total times found P total equals ANS atom. 29. Calculate the mole fraction. We use the formula PA equals XA times P total, so XA equals PA over P total, so we have P total equals P of first element plus P second element plus P third element plus P fourth element plus P of fifth element. We plug in the P of those elements since it should be given equals ANS millimeter Hg, and then find X of each of the 5 elements. Use X of element equals P of element over P total equals ANS. 30. Determine the average velocity. We use formula URMS equals square root inside it is 3RT over M equals square root inside 3 times 8.3145 kilograms M to the square root over S to the square root mol K in 4R times parenthesis C plus 273.15 parenthesis all over molar mass of element G over mol times 1 kilogram over 1000. G equals ANS MS to the negative root. 31. How fast will it travel at the same temperature? Use formula rate first element over rate second element equals square root inside is first element over the second element. So rate second element equals rate of first element over square root inside is second element over first element. We plug in given ms over square root inside molar mass of second element G over mol all over molar mass of first element G over mol equals ANS m over 2. 32. Calculate the pressure assuming the gas is ideal. We have T equals given C plus 273.15 equals ANSK, and also have P equals given mol times 0.08206 L atom over mol K times found K all over given L equals ANS atom. Calculate the pressure using the van der Waals equation. Use formula bracket P plus a parenthesis N over V parenthesis to the square root bracket parenthesis V minus NB parenthesis equals nRT. So P equals nRT over parenthesis V minus NB parenthesis then minus it by a parenthesis N over V parenthesis to the square root. Plug in mol given in 4n times 0.08206 L at over mol k in 4r times found k in 4t all over given L in 4v minus 0.0318 L over mol 4nb. 1.36 L to the square root atom over mol to the square root in 4 equals ans atom.